Now for this next clip, I'd like to talk about vessels. We are going to do the flowers for a lovely courtyard garden party this evening. It's not an enormous space, it's very pretty. Old stone house. There's a mix of stone and brick and slate and nice windows and steps. It's very, very pretty. By the time we get there, the sun will have come off the courtyard altogether. Thank goodness. So nobody will feel the sun on their head because it's still 35 degrees, 36 degrees, and it's going to be hot. So it'll cool down nicely. I happen to know because I pinged over there yesterday evening to have a look. Now, in my mind, I was going to do my usual, as any of you will know, I'm keen on glass. And I was going to use lots of glass vessels because they catch the light so nicely. But by the time this party happens, the direct sunlight will be behind all the buildings, which means that there is a lovely soft light in the courtyard, and all that stone and slate and brick is very, very attractive. So I thought, why fight with what you've got? But really, never try and make something be what it isn't. And my lovely friend said that she really loves this new jug, which she treated herself to recently from the Durslade Farm shop at Houser and Worth, up the road from here. And I thought, well, that's really beautiful, isn't it? That's a stunning thing to fill with flowers. And by chance, I happen to have quite a nice collection of stoneware vases. These are mustard pots, which have just been washed up and used again and again and again. And they're a lovely stony colour, and they have some weight on them. So if they're being balanced on a windowsill or in a narrowish space, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to fall over. Some of you will have seen before my, this is for keeping something, if you were in the south of France and you made something like a cassoulet, you could put it in here and put a layer of fat on the top and it would keep for a really long time. So that's what this pot would have been for originally. It's porous, so I put a vase in it and filled the vase with water. Yes, I know. And then I also have these little bud vases, which I had made years and years ago by a chap in Gloucestershire. And I love them, and they're really good colour for this sort of soft stone-coloured courtyard in the evening after a sunny day. So we're going to use those. And of course, this little number is an old favourite. And I'm going to put some nice big branches in that to get some height. One of the things I quite like about a project like this is, A, I'm free to do pretty much what I like, which always gives me pleasure. But B, I quite like, I'm such a creature of habit, and I think we all are, that I will always reach for the same vases because it's quick. So it's quite nice to have a different selection to work with this afternoon. So here we go. And one more thing before I start. The other thing I really like is I've got different sizes of these jars. So I'm going to make them so that they make a sort of a ribbon of flowers with these. And then I'm going to do another ribbon of flowers with these because I think they'll look very attractive. Right, here we go. I've got all that material that I had this morning for the wedding I've just done. I've still got quite a lot on the table. So let's get going. It's going to be very simple and very quick. So I'm going to do it quickly and then I'll show you what I've done. Oh, and by the way, if you like this channel, please subscribe to it. Please press the bell icon and I'll tell you when I've got new clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks I give you along the way are useful, then please do buy me a coffee. The link for buying coffees is in the blurb for all my clips. Thank you very much. Onwards and upwards. People always ask about mechanics, so before I start, this jug now has an old wire pointy hat, which belonged to my mother, who was a florist at the Dorchester Hotel in London in the 1960s. So this is a real vintage piece of kit. As you can see, it's battered by age, but it's going to do its job. So it's just giving me a shape in this big jug to work with so that things don't fall over. And you're going to love this. In here is a pint glass, which is balanced on top of another upside down vase inside. And I'm going to use more stuff. Some of the things that go in here will be out of water, but the pint glass is for things that really need water. Just checking I'm switched on. So there's a reservoir there. Okay, on we go. I've got limited amounts of material. There they are. And I'm just going to work through it and use it all up. So altogether, I've probably got about 300 stems. Just work it up. I'm going to bring it a bucket at a time and ruthlessly use it. Doesn't it look pretty before you start? I should take a picture of that. This is why social media is a thing. It kind of makes your head all the time. You're thinking, well, that's pretty, I'll take a picture. Slows you down, I can tell you that. As always, I start with the foliage. And because we're in the middle of a drought, I won't slosh the water down the sink. I'll save it and I'll slosh it on the plants afterwards. Waste not, want not. Well, I like the green. Do you like the green? That's just amaranthus and bells of Ireland so far. I could walk away now, but I won't. Right, they're all coming along nicely. But shall we add some dahlias? I think we should. Just because you might be interested, this one is Carolina Wagamans, and this one is Apricot Desire. Very nearly the same. Carolina Wagamans is slightly white, sort of paler, but it's I would call it bluer. This is yellower, bluer, yellower. I know that doesn't make sense when we're talking about apricot, but this is Apricot Desire, lovely. Carolina Wagamans, also lovely. Which do you prefer? I like them both. Personal favourite, Aljo, A-L-J-O, my favourite. I have dahlia workshops, you can book on them. Right, so there are the 3 large arrangements done. I'm going to put them out of the way and then I'm going to show you what I've done with the other dahlias. It's fun and it's frilly. Yes, I'm channeling my inner florette again. Look, it's a balayage of dahlias. Wouldn't that be fun at the party? I love this. There are a few more. I've put 3 or 4, maybe 5 stems in each little tiny pot. The pots are tiny, look, finger for scale. Doop. Dinky winky. I'm very pleased with that. And they're into the car. The posies are next to me. The aircon is on full. Off we go. So here we are. Beautiful townhouse. Look at the colour of the raspberry door. Very, very stylish. In we go. And all the way through, it's as though we're in France. I feel as though we're in France. And look at the light. So we go all the way through. This is a townhouse in sunny Somerset. Into the beautiful garden. And look, these people must be having a party. They've got a great big arrangement of dahlias on the table as a welcome for when people come in. And to go with the earthenware, stoneware look, they have stoneware pots and a stoneware jug on the drinks table. And for me, and look how good it all is with that battleship grey paint on the doors. They're very good with colour, these people. And then around we go. And there is the balayage of dahlias. dahlias or dahlias, depends which side of the Atlantic you live. And here is the rest of the balayage all the way along the windowsill. And that, I think, is very successful, and I will do that again. Have a lovely party, friends. I hope it goes incredibly well. Of course, there's a butterfly. Bye. Right, thank you very much for joining me while we made this film, or I made this film. As you can see, I'm still glowing. It was 38 degrees when I got in the car. So I'm going to go home, put on my party dress and come back, because these are great friends and neighbours. And haven't they got a beautiful spot? The stone walls, the brickwork. It is a lovely, proper townhouse. It feels as though we're in France. I always think I'm in France when I come here. Anyway, time to go and freshen up. If you've enjoyed this clip, please do subscribe to the channel. You can always press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming out. And if any of the tips and tricks I've given you along the way have been useful, you can always buy me a coffee. The link for coffee buying is in the blurb to all my clips. Thanks very much. See you soon.